Where are you?
We're in the turret. And I see an old Roman wall off there. What's the name of our place?
I don't know.
Tell us, because it's French.
La Domaine de la Tortinière.
Catherine Hepburn was here. Gerard Depardieu. What I really want to say is Rapunzel let down your hair. 2 nights ago. This is heaven.
This is still steaming.
What do you want to say?
I want to say this is a lovely breakfast, but
What-
everything is a learning experience. We didn't know how to open up our coffee. We didn't know what this stuff is. It's liquid. We thought it was marmalade.
It's honey.
But Gil figured out it's honey. The china, by the way, is Villeroy, and the pattern, we had one yesterday called Florida. This is Riviera. It's gorgeous. Then we got this yogurt, I think. Ananas, we figure it must be bananas, and apricot. Also, I was being clever to greet the woman who brought this. So I had my French all planned, and I accidentally said good evening instead of good
Bonsoir
night.
instead
It
of
was
bonjour.
not hard. Now we're sitting here. We have to make these decisions.
Oh,
Chemin
we're all
So, Azalea Redoux. Here's what the choices are, Gil. Sleeping Beauty Castle, which I heard is incredible. That's Azalea.
Here, let me show you what the
Redoux.
let me show you what
Go
the view
outside.
looks like again.
Yep. The lake, this morning, it was all covered with like fog,
That's not a
water
lake.
vapor.
That's the Indre River.
It's water.
Ah.
Of course, we have a swimming pool too, but it's a bit chilly.
And we found out that those things over there are water towers. Those funnels. That's what that is. And this is the view that you would have of your estate. My goodness.
These people really knew how to live. Of course, not many of them live this way. All of your vassal types, people who took care of you were
It's a
down
vassal
there.
type.
I don't know. And then you have all your animals around. I saw one place you can go feed the animals. Let me tell you what our choices are for today, if I can find them. We're
Well,
deciding
I've got it fairly well laid out, if
well,
you
here's
agree.
the ones I like. Amboise, which has where Leonardo died. He lived there for 4 years, and it has mock-ups of his inventions.
Yeah.
Angers has the tapestries, but we've seen tapestries. Azalea Rideau, which is supposedly
That's the one that Stephanie and Stan
a
stayed at.
real gem.
It is. He says you must see that.
Yeah, I heard it's incredible. Blois, sounds like blah,
We're
except
not
there's
gonna
no
have time.
furniture in it. Chambord, which
Yes.
is the
He
largest.
said see just the outside.
Yes, the keep inside
He
is
said
incredible.
forget the inside, he said.
Clemenceau, which
It's
is the
closed up.
Chateau of 6 Women, which is an absolute must, plus they're open over lunchtime. Cheverny, now it turns out it's still privately owned and they don't let you in their gardens. That's a minus.
Yeah.
Chenon is closed on Wednesday.
We won't see that.
Villandre, we want to see the gardens. And
Yes.
then there's the Sleeping Beauty Castle. Ussay, that was the inspiration for Sleeping Beauty
We're going to see
legend.
that tomorrow morning.
I'm
I
so
agree.
glad you planned this because it's really overwhelming. You
Yes.
could spend a week easily in just this country. Did you get a picture? This room, we slept in a turret. No
Yeah.
wonder the room was round. You can't see, it's dark in here right now. I'll show you later. It is so incredible.
So where are we?
We're at Chenonceau, the must-see chateau. This is the only one that's open over lunchtime, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Chenonceau is supposedly the best. And you did an excellent job driving us here.
And you weren't bad as a navigator. You
The
weren't
scenery
great,
was
but you were okay.
Thanks. Video going?
Yeah?
I think it's interesting it was built by a wealthy tax collector. It's known as the Chateau of the 5 Women or the 6 Women, I forgot how many. But anyway, after,
Five plus
after
one.
the tax collector lost it, he went bankrupt, which is sad. It went to Francis I, and this is the River Cher, as in Sunny Ann.
Oh, okay. Where is she?
Who?
Cher.
I don't know. We're about to go in. You know what I just said?
What?
This is where the expression, a man's home is his castle,
I never had
came from.
I never had a home like this.
Nor did I. You need a lot of service here.
And there's two sphinx. What's the plural of sphinx?
Here, could you turn around and record me? I'll get you. And then you can film it. Just pretend that I'm Catherine de' Medici. I'm one of the women who lived here. These are my gardens. Notice I have them all to myself. You see my fountain?
I'm being buzzed.
You-
What's the name of the river?
By the way, this Catherine de' Medici actually did add this garden. This is the Catherine de' Medici garden.
What else do you want to tell me?
I don't know any more to tell you yet. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, they're goodies?
Say again. That's the chancellery?
That's the chancellery.
You sure?
No, but from what I can, it's to the right at the entrance of the garden.
That's it?
That should be the chancellery. Isn't that where you keep all of your
This is,
valuables?
this is the major picture that's always taken from the side of
Right.
it, and that's the one that we have in our
Because
hotel.
of the sun. Isn't it hard to do that now?
Yeah, that's true.
It
This
says
is
if
the one
you
that we
have
have
time,
a picture in our hotel at winter time, right here.
if it's nice, they have rowboats and you can row down the river, it says.
That's the Tour de Marquis, not the Chancery, as we thought before. And there's the castle itself,
The chancellery is that little house over there, or is
No.
it that one?
right over there. That's the Chancery.
Let's go inside. I bet they have fabulous view.
Chapel.
Notice, this is etched in the wall from 1543. This is for the grace of God in Christ. This is Diane Portier's room. The portrait is of Catherine de' Medici. Notice the H's belong to Henry II, so he has his name all over. And by the way, she's pretty ugly.
You say she was pretty. I said she was ugly. We compromised.
She's not
pretty ugly.
attractive. Let's check his next woman here.
It's a Flemish tapestry.
I don't know if this. Are you sure this is the study? There's no books to study.
Why is it called the Green Study? I guess because of the greens along
I
here.
don't know why. But here's the king and queen. It's very long. And the chairs are very uncomfortable.
So this is actually the
This
gallery.
is called the gallery, not the study. And for World War I, they treated wounded soldiers. This was something of war. See, that's the First World War.
Yeah.
And see the Red Cross?
Yes.
They can, and it is also very long. It is 65 yards from one end to the other.
And this is right over the river.
And during the German occupation,
Second World War.
it would, yeah.
What does it say?
Something about the German occupation, I'm
Numerous
not sure.
persons took advantage of the privileged situation of the gallery of the south door, which gave access to the free zone where
It was
whereas
in the
castle
occupied
entrance
zone
was
by
in
the
occupied
Germans.
zone.
The Germans occupied it. This is Francis I's room. And it says, is that Latin or
Yes,
French? If
Latin.
I succeed in building this castle, I shall be remembered. Did you see the
What
sideboard?
happens if I don't succeed?
Problem is, I've never heard of him. Thomas Bohier, B-O-H-I-E-R.
Look at that piece. What is that?
That's an Italian sideboard from the Renaissance, mother of pearl and ivory. There should be a picture of Diane.
How about that?
That must be Diane.
Louis XIV's drawing. That must be Louis.
I thought it was Louis, but it's not.
What do you think it is?
It's Samuel Bernard.
Ah, okay. Is that Louis over there?
Let me check.
Yes. That's Louis.
Rubens painting, Baby Jesus and Saint Jean, from 1577. Look at the frame at the top of Louis' portrait. An incredible frame. This is a nice room with a view of the river. I like this room a lot. We're outside of Catherine de Medici's room and the room of the 5 ladies.
Queens.
You see all that?
Mm-hmm. 5 queens.
Yeah. That's where we entered, way down there.
Which one's Catherine's garden? That one
I'm not sure.
or that one?
I'm not sure, to be honest. We're in Catherine de Medici's study. This room is nice. The ceiling is original. It's a really interesting ceiling. The ancient coins that we're about to come across were actually used in France, and they have pictures of Francis, Henry, Catherine de Medici, and Diane de Poitiers, as in the city, Poitiers.
You get all the stuff you needed?
Got everything. I'm so happy here. I see why people come back here again and again. This
How would you compare this with Versailles?
It's not as magnificent. It's a little more homey, though. And the gardens and the river. Did Versailles have water around it?
Yes?
That's the
In the
Diane Poitiers sprinkling system.
Wait.
We're in the Wax Museum, and this one is very interesting. It said that Madame likes to receive the famous thinkers of the time. So there is Rousseau and Voltaire. Think of Bill Clinton and his Renaissance weekends. He likes to invite great thinkers of the time. Here's the precursor.
This is where Leonardo spent the last 4 years of his life. He died here, he's buried here, and in the basement, IBM engineers have built models from his drawings of all of his inventions.
What do you want to tell
We're
me?
in the Chateau of Leonardo. This is his bed. We just climbed the spiral staircase. By the way, we overlook the Chateau Amboise, which is closed for lunch, and this isn't. You hear the music?
It's like Italian Renaissance.
This is so exciting. We're going to see all the original Leonardo things. Is that the original of that painting? I know that painting.
It's very similar to something.
Yeah.
What's the name of that?
This looks like the Baldacci poster.
Yeah.
I think of all the places we've seen on this trip, this is the most incredible. Look, that's like a parachute. You know, the parachute was his idea.
Was
He
it?
had a parachute from his flying machine.
And these too.
These are all his inventions. I don't know what this one is.
We're going to find out.
You see the flying machine?
Yes.
This is the precursor for a helicopter. It's a helicopter. Anticipating of the helicopter. And that's the wing, inspired by a bat.
Yeah.
It's in his...
Leonardo's dogs.
We're in the royal reception room where Leonardo welcomed Francis I. Obviously,
This is a reproduction.
a reproduction, although it looks fairly old.
You remember where the original is?
It's
In the Louvre.
behind a lot of glass and can't near it. This is quite old. You can tell.
What is that about the song of...
That's a tapestry depicting the Song of Roland. I remember reading that in my first history class, Chanson Roland or something like that. It's one of those epic sagas from ancient French history.
sort of like an Iliad or Odyssey. Those are weapons on the wall that you could knock down your enemy with one blow. Notice the tapestries they use for decorating all the walls. This could help in earthquake-prone California, because if they fall, nothing bad happens.
Where are we now?
We're in the machine room. The engineers at IBM used Leonardo's drawings and exactly the way he described produced machines. This is a military tank. This is a cannon.
That looks like
This is a steam cannon.
wow.
I don't know what that is in the middle. Hold on. Oh, this is a catapult.
It's a catapult. It's not a
catapult.
steam
Well, it
cannon.
said steam cannon.
And what's this over here? That looks
hold
like
on.
that looks like an old catapult.
It's a scaling ladder to scale walls. It's unfortunate so many had to do with war.
What's the
The
scale?
scaling ladder was used for assaulting the ramparts, but it's the same principle as our firemen's hooks and ladders. He set up the principle for it. I'd love to know what the thing in the middle is.
Say it again.
This is called a field gun. It's the forerunner of a modern howitzer.
And what's this over here?
This over here, I don't know yet. Hold on. It's a machine gun,
Oh my.
a multi-direction
Oh, look at that.
machine
It's
gun.
like a, what do they call those?
I'm surprised that so many of these are military machines. I want to get over to the more peaceful kinds of things. These are all the instruments in this room that were used to measure. Did you say a hydrometer?
Yeah, like for dampness.
And this measures the wind, an anemometer, and this measures, it's a ball bearing principle. This is a clock, a Waywiser, which I don't know what it is. It has to do with the wheelbarrow. This is gears. This is activating pinion gearing units, whatever that is. And this has to do with speed gears, like on a car. These are jacks. Doesn't
Like
that
to
look
lift-
like a car jack? A screw wrench. It's also used in plumbing.
Like to lift.
And this is a
And this-
lifting
this-
jack.
This is the first car. Look at this.
Wow, and here's a jack for if your tire goes flat.
Movement is transmitted to the back wheels by stretching alternately the spring of the right wheel and then the spring of the
Look
left
at
wheel.
his diagram here on the wall. It really is what we use for a car. Here's a man who
Incredible.
should truly be cloned if we ever clone people, don't you think?
I don't think so.
A water pump, an Archimedean screw that draws water through pipes.
Like Archimedes' principle.
Yes, a water turbine, suspension bridge.
Incredible.
This is, whoa, what is this? This is for a double-hulled ship, which apparently they didn't have in those days. They used it in inventing submarines, a bulb system to better penetrate water, paddle boat.
Oh, this is a paddle boat. Look at that. You see the rotating?
A bridge, a military flying bridge, military suspension bridge, and a swivel bridge. I've never heard of a swivel bridge. It's for high ships. And it was realized in the 19th century, actually, it says.
This is a steam hammer.
Using a system of blocks and ropes, the load is pulled up and falls down with its own weight. I don't know what it's used for, though. Maybe it's like those drills, like they drill up the street. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, like a steam hammer for holes in the cement.
We were in this.
The back of his house?
I guess it's this.
Yeah. This is the gardens that he looked out onto and got his inspiration on.
Probably one of the last things he saw before he died.
So where are we?
We have now come to Amboise. We parked right by that round tower that it's most famous for.
There's,
This is the chapel. Notice it looks like the one in Rouen. The open ironwork at the top. And here's the main chateau over on your right. And this goes back to 13th century, I believe. Haven't read.
hello?
Hello.
From the top of Amboise, Chateau of Amboise. I believe that's still the River Cher. And the town of Amboise. Janice? This is the end of the tour, the Horseman's Tower, yes? Yes.
Clovis, remember him in the year 503? He was king of the Franks and he met with Alaric, who was the king of the Visigoths. Remember those guys?
Yes.
The Amboise Golden Age was 16th century. Charles VII lived here, and Mary Queen of Scots.
And a lot of old people. So how many more chateaus have we seen? Now we're at
The front that we saw the picture of?
no. This is the side. This is Giverny.
This is Cheverny.
Giverny. Giverny?
Next time.
I can't believe that.
Sounding okay.
Is it? You want to stand in front of Cheverny?
You are. I can get you videoing right in front of Cheverny. You know, it's classical style, one of the last chateaux to be built in the 17th century. And it was built all at the same time, so you don't see different sections like the other places. It's still used a lot for hunting. They have dogs they store here. You can watch them eat if you'd like. See the balloon going up?
I do. I don't think I want to be in that. Where are we now?
We're in the dining room at Cheverny. What's interesting is during World War II, they stored the Mona Lisa here and other valuable masterpieces. Something else. This one actually looks very livable, by the way. The story of Don Quixote is told along the wall. And this is also the example of the restrained classical chateau, completely symmetrical, all built at once. This is a classy house. I like this. It was completed in 1634, still privately owned. They have a hunting room with all the antlers of all these animals, and they feed the dogs a few times a day if you want to go watch.
You want to tell me who it is?
This is Henry IV's bedroom. Did you see the Delft vase over here? They painted or tapestried every square inch of this room.
With the
Did you notice
Labors
the
of
coffered
work.
ceilings? The ceilings are incredible. They're done in Italian style, telling the story of Perseus and Andromeda as an Andromeda string. There's a collection of tapestries.
and that's King
With
Louis
the
the.
labors-
Is that King Henry's
The fourth.
bed? King
Must have
Henry
been
the
short.
Fourth.
With the labors of Ulysses, Persian embroidery on his bed.
You want to tell me who that is?
That's a bronze sculpture, an equestrian statue of George Washington by Marochetti, who's the same man who did the two friezes in the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. And the document above it was actually signed by George Washington, who with Louis XVI, I guess they signed it together.
What year?
because they both worked for the American War of Independence. That's interesting. And the owners
1776.
of this place fought beside Lafayette and Rochambeau. That's very interesting.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Going to call? Tell me, I forgot.
we're going to Chambord, and we're leaving
Cheverny.
Cheverny, which I called Giverny before.
Cheverny is really nice. I like this place. This is manageable. The furnishings are exquisite. George Washington has been here. I don't like all the hunting though. They still do hunting here.
And the balloon has come down.
The balloon has come down and she says it's 20 minutes, doesn't close till 5:15, so onward to...
This one is? Which one is this?
Is the camera on?
Yes.
Okay, this is Chambord. This is the very largest. It said William Randolph Hearst would have built it if he had more money. It's one of the most extraordinary buildings in all of Europe with the longest wall in all of Europe. That's the main thing. And also we only have about 30 minutes to see
Let's
the
go
largest
see it.
chateau. So forerunner to Versailles. That's number one. And two, look at those people up there.
Hmm.
I think this is another side of it.
This is the front. The opening.
Is it?
This is the royal porch, as they said. This is how people came into the castle. From over here, you see?
Okay.
Where's the dungeon? Right there.
We started off, can you hear me?
Yes.
We started off in the dungeon. There are 440 rooms and we have about 40 minutes. So that means 10 rooms a minute. We better start running. Francis I had it built. He spent only 42 days. Leonardo, they said, may have designed it. They're not certain. But even though he was king for decades, he was here less than a month.
Oh, not Leonardo, Francois the First.
Francis I.
Mm-hmm.
It took 12,000 horses to move Francis in here and all his stuff and all his entourage. This room is complete.
that would take your stuff?
That's all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't get
My
Francis
goodness.
into his place. This is exactly like Versailles. I feel like I'm in Versailles in this room. Absolutely like Versailles. It was one of the rooms on the right. I remembered exactly.
Just the king's bedroom?
What we have to find is the keep and the roof terrace. We've seen the famous staircase. Two
Onward.
to go.
Walk right around this one.
You want to tell me anything?
I don't know what to tell you. This place is massive. That's
Yeah, it's one on top of the other.
But we don't know where the keep is. I'd like to find the keep.
This is big, but I really don't care for this. It's
For a
too
keep?
massive, too cold. Don't care for it.
Why are you out of breath?
Because we went up that double staircase.
Firf. Francois the First. You see his name?
Yep. FRF. He was extremely vain.
That's the circular staircase
Spiral. The
Spiral. that Leonardo da Vinci was supposed to have built. Right?
I think so. Tell what I'm doing so I can
Descending from the double spiral staircase. See, that really is exciting.
This is exciting. It goes all the way up. Leonardo designed it. Here I am. This is Chateau des Artigny. The Chevrons and Hamers stayed here and recommended it, so we're going to go check it out. It looks sensational. On tennis court, on golf course. Seems this is a place that you come and spend a week after you're retired, of course. Let's go take a look at the back. Got the
This
garden.
is our dining room.
This is the dining room of Chateau de la Artigny. There's
Wow.
the columns. It's circular with the chandelier and overlooks the several hundred acres of grounds.
My,
It's absolutely lovely.
it's the same river.
Same river. And the lamp is quite lovely.
The Indu. This is the barn. Okay.
We're finishing our quick visit to Chateau des Artigny. This is
Where
the
we didn't
Cody
stay.
perfume magnate, by the way, who built this place. It's really like a modern day Cheminceau. This is incredible. We have nothing like this at home at all. It is magnificent.
Au revoir.
Next time, I'd like to stay here.
Yes.
We left the Des Artigny, the lovely hotel, and we found our way, miraculously, to the Chateau Azay-le-Rideau, the most photographed of all the chateaux.
So this is of the front of Azay
Le Rideau.
Le Rideau.
It looks like Sleeping Beauty's castle a little bit, doesn't it?
But the Sleeping Beauty Castle is actually Uzay, correct?